With us having the ability to instantly look up anything we want, we're a click away from becoming a specialist in any topic and a step further away from feeling comfortable just admitting that we don't know something in the moment. Have you ever been speaking with someone and you have a disagreement? This could be a fact you heard or an opinion which is your own. Or it could be some general knowledge question which neither of you know the answer to. As Chris suggested on my last video, the capital of Jordan could be an example. Before you have the chance to hash it out amongst yourselves, the other person instead decides to check on their phone to find the answer, or if it's an opinion, the top suggestion that they can find. When you do this, you're stopping the conversation in its tracks, uprooting the interest before it has the chance to grow organically from debating with each other. Unfortunately, this isn't the only consequence, as when you rely on the assistance of the search engine to finish your sentence, you're diluting your own authentic position. This is understandable, as when we go to Google for an answer, it's more comforting as you'll receive a perceivable level of conviction which is backed by the majority. However, when it comes to an opinion, just because it's backed by more people doesn't make it any more objective. Plus, with there being such an exhaustive amount of opinions online, your favourable wording of the question can produce results that back your view even if it's incorrect, blinding you from seeing any merit from the other side, making you stubborn and stuck to the spot. With unfettered access to anything under the sun, you can convince yourself you're an instant expert in any topic. I recently had a conversation with a parent who said that certainty is plaguing the parenting guru space, where the words "I don't know" are rarely used and has become a space where debate is replaced with toxic tribalism, with everyone claiming to know best. As I'm not a parent, I can't speak on this, but what I can comment on is my view on why I feel certainty is plaguing many online spaces. Uncertainty is going out of fashion, and so the certain voices dominate discourse. As alluded to earlier, certainty is comforting. It simplifies the unknown into a digestible dose, giving us a full sense of security. And so, we gravitate to the more certain opinions for the comfort that they provide. When we collectively do this, there's less healthy debate and more narrow viewpoints, creating a tribal and toxic environment where we all pick sides. Not only this, but certainty comes with a respectable conviction, which is far more palatable and entertaining to consume than someone who is uncertain and weighing up both sides. Unfortunately, the more the certain voices are amplified, the closer our culture moves towards tribalism, where we villainise those we disagree with until eventually the balanced speakers who operate in good faith get lost in the noise. As mentioned in my last video, when doubt falls by the wayside in favour of certainty, we become more stuck in our echo chambers and less willing to come together with those whom we disagree with. To briefly reference a new TV show, Pluribus, I feel it's a reflection of the times that we're living in, at least in the online world. The premise, if you're not aware, is that everyone apart from 13 people get hit with a virus that makes them become a hive mind, where even someone who worked as a waiter at TGI Fridays would know how to fly a plane. I feel like I don't need to spell out the parallels with social media with this one. We've all spoken to people online who think that they know everything. Faking knowledge has never been easier. There's a phenomenon called cryptomnesia. Pulled from the definition, we may have a memory bias when recalling a thought which, if the memory has been forgotten and re-remembered, has the power to rewrite the truth as if it was a new idea. Likewise, if you originally read something online, if enough time has passed, you may forget where you first heard it, eventually believing that the words you have found from somewhere else, whether it's directly from an expert or online, are your own. This recycling of an existing idea into a new one is not necessarily intentional. Ironically, this one is intentional, as I'll recycle an analogy from the website Philosophy Terms. Picture an inventor who comes up with a gadget design only to later discover a similar product in an old magazine at the dentist's office, a magazine which he once read at home. Quoting Philosophy Terms, this shows how the inventor's unconscious mind held on to the concept without their awareness. I'd argue that we're all guilty of this in one way or another, and it's truer now than it has been in the past. With us being flooded with information at every angle, it's so easy to forget where your opinions came from until, without taking time to reflect, you're spouting a thought which is word for word what someone else has said. This is why it's so tricky to trace back whether someone has deliberately plagiarised another. It is this ease of getting away with it that makes it tempting to regurgitate another's ideas as your own because you get all of the praise with none of the work. Eventually, you'll even start believing the compliments that you receive until, before you know it, you're an expert, or so you think. If you're tempted to copy someone else, remember what I previously mentioned, how the more you absorb another's opinions, the more diluted and less authentic yours will become. Closing thoughts. In conclusion, the more we bypass our own rationality in favour of a search engine's response, the harder it is to think critically for ourselves, and the more susceptible we become to influence, clinging on to certainty at every chance. In favouring efficiency above all else and comparing a computer's speed to our own minds, we're in danger of losing sight of the value in doubting ourselves, creating a toxic world of mundane certainty. Not only this, when you pull out your phone and go to the all-knowing Google in the middle of a conversation, you're uprooting the interest and the healthy debate sprouted from the initial disagreement. Thanks for watching.